All right, folks. So, I really want to actually show you guys some real life footage, basically from a GoPro, but I want to maintain people's privacy. Also, I don't want to reuse content, but this background scene here is from YouTube, and it's a video with a woman, and I'm not going to play the video, but I'm just going to talk
In a
over the
quarter mile, turn
background.
left on I-25
So-
south using the left lane.
So with this lady, she's meeting a guy in Ghana. He's playing her up. He's giving her all the, giving her everything that she wants via social media, playing the game. And right now in the United States, I will say that a large majority of people are not happy with the United States, and a lot of people are feeling like it's an eternal rat race, and we're all being duped. So now on social media, you're seeing a rise in people trying to flee the United States and start a new life over again, and even just a place that's less expensive, all kinds of stuff, So, and here's the thing, is that I personally feel
Turn
the
left on
same
I-25
way
south.
in a lot of things, but the problem, though, the reality of the problem is that a lot of us are going to have to stay and fight, and you're going to have to find some way to survive here in the United States, regardless of what's going on. So, but people are now looking to people online like they're going to be superheroes and rescue them from their financial situations. So the lady in the video, she mentioned she's older, she has 2 kids. Really, men are not about that life. A man may meet an attractive woman in her 40s, and he may, be sexually attracted to you, whatever. He may do whatever he wants with you, but he's not there for the long term. The man that was there for the long term was that guy that you had them children with. So, and there's so many people, so even vice versa. If you're a man in the United States and online you see an attractive woman, she's very career-minded, she's very successful, I feel like in the end, even though it sounds all good, I don't think that woman is really checking for you. And once you get in the environment and get exposed, that relationship will turn into a disaster. So, and that's the problem with a lot of stuff now on, Instagram and TikTok, is that we have access to the world, and really, and we think we have all this optionality, but really it's not that easy. So I'm watching, and I'm waiting, but I'm watching a guy on YouTube, and you could probably figure out who it is. But I'm watching a guy, and he's a young cat talking about moving to Africa. And what I find disturbing, and it's a reality, is that even as a black person, there's a paywall for us to go back to Africa. It's just like, you can't, as a black person, if we think there, there's going to be this mass exodus of black people going to Africa, it's just like, nah, you still got to, your finances got to be right, your paperwork's got to be right, all that different stuff. So, but a lot of people, including myself, are thinking about fleeing, the United States and going somewhere else where life is simpler. But in all reality is that while you're here in the United States under whatever conditions, you got to find a way to survive. And also, when you move to these other countries or whatever, or you start a new relationship, you have to have a network of people that you can trust. And a lot of people now with social media are finding people that they barely even know, and they're basically signing their life away to, someone that they don't even know, that doesn't have their best interest in their mind. And also, too, is like, it's also not that everyone does not have your best interest in mind. But people have their own problems. Somebody that you may meet online, you may meet an attractive woman online, and you may get to her home state, home country, and realize that she has a lot going on behind the scenes. There could be children, there could be mental illness.
In 2 miles, take right exit 132B toward Fort Carson.
I've seen this happen a lot with people, like marrying people from the Philippines. When you marry a woman from the Philippines, you become married to the mob. You know, you're not just, it's not just about you and that woman, it's about you and her family. Then also too is like, you know, I find myself, I could probably go online and find myself attracted to a nice looking European woman. But the problem though is once I get there, her family may not take too kindly to me being African American regardless. So you have to find these people that are willing to basically meet you on your level and also build on your level. So all this other stuff is not love, but I'm seeing all kinds of people, you know, shacking up with people or moving to other countries and trying to do this stuff, and it's ending up in complete disaster. And because it was not done in the right fashion.
In a half mile, take right exit 132D toward Fort Carson using the right lane.
And do I know the exact method on how to make these relationships last? No, I don't. But there's a lot of false information out there in general, just right now in the whole landscape of dating, moving, all this different stuff.
Take right exit 132B toward Fort Carson.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, in a way, I feel like the world is kind of like getting to where it's like not forced population control, but a lot of people are just not going to have children in the future because people are not really, people are really not bonding with people. And then also too, if you do mess around and have children, you're having a lot of disconnected families that are not going to really be, what do you call it? Productive in society. I think if you find a person that is really in love with you or whatever, they're going to meet you on your level and you're going to build. So if you find yourself, you know, in love with somebody that, you know, even if you're, you know, I'm in Colorado and this woman is in New York, it's basically going to be like that woman needs to come and meet me where I'm at. It's not like, because I feel like in general, like when we travel to another place and we're enamored by that person and we're on our best behavior and we meet them on their playing field, okay? So they're that perfect person when, you know, they're in front of us. You know, you travel to New York, the woman's beautiful. I come back to Colorado, and that woman has a sigh of relief because she doesn't have to put that mask on anymore. And then she's just herself, you know, and then slowly what happens is, you know, you catch that person being themselves. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's like if you catch a person in a vulnerable position, do you manipulate that person, or does that vulnerability bring you close together? Now, in this video, these older women, man, these guys, look, she's talking about the guy goes to the gym and he does this and he's got a business. Man, these guys have manipulated multiple women so they can fund that dream lifestyle. You know, this guy in the photo looks like, you know, she says he's in the gym, but he looks like a guy that after he figured out he can manipulate people, he started losing weight. You know, he started going to the gym and he uses all this, you know, whatever to, you know, to put on the persona. And a woman, like, look, and here's another thing too, the difference between a lot of men and difference between men and women. I feel like a guy, when he goes to the gym, it doesn't diminish from himself. You know, he becomes more masculine, he puts on more muscle. But for these women nowadays that are trying to compete and have massive BBLs and have 36 double Ds and all this different stuff, is that diminishes your femininity. And I feel like women have to, at a certain extent, like, just like be happy in their body. I mean, not like, don't be out here, you know, obese and eating all this crap and stuff. But when you get out here in the gym and you're constantly pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself, you're diminishing your femininity, and age is not kind to anybody. I mean, I feel like a lot of women now are looking
Turn
more
right,
and more
then
older
turn right on Llano Street.
because they're constantly under the stress. You're trying to compete with your 20 or 18-year-old counterpart in these, you know, in the dating world. You're trying to keep up with all these current trends of the dating world. You're trying to be hip in listening to the music and being ratchet and hanging out and drinking. There's older women that know when it's time to take their ass home and go to sleep. You know, there's women that know that they need to stay hydrated. There's women that know this type of soap is not good for my skin. But now we are in a society, like I said, society really is taking a fall in the whole mating and dating thing. It's just all off kilter right now. But I want to say that, you know, I'm even seeing, I've said this and man, and it's not going to happen, but have you guys seen Stacey Dash? Stacey Dash is a prime example of a beautiful woman that's out here trying to shake it to make it in the current world, when you should be sitting your ass down somewhere and really figuring it out. Peace out.